Hello, vinyl community and rest of YouTube. This is the Thrashing Zombie, Todd Guy. It's my first video, so it's going to be a little awkward, weird, strange, whatever. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm doing, but I'm just going to give it a shot and I'll show you some records that I liked a lot when I was younger, give you a little backstory on me. So I was born in 1973, so I'm 46. I didn't really listen to music a whole lot until probably 80, 81. And then I remember listening to my mom's old 8-track. She gave me an 8-track player and a box of 8-tracks. Bunch of different stuff in there. Steve Miller, Bay City Rollers, Jim Croce, Kiss. Kiss is the one I listened to a lot. I was a huge fan of Kiss back when I was, 10, 11 years old. The one I listened to the most was this one. This is Kiss Rock and Roll Over. This is the actual 8-track that I listened to. This was a great album. Lists songs like I Want You, Take Me, Hard Luck Woman, Calling Dr. Love. I listened to this a lot. Never had the record. I got the record. I found this, I think at a thrift store somewhere. I think it's a later pressing. I don't believe it's an original. And there's a back cover. Everybody knows Kiss, so that was my first introduction into like heavier rock and roll. And then my mom knew I liked Kiss a lot, so for Christmas or my birthday or something, she bought me Kiss Alive 2. This is one I found because this one is the original that I've had since I was a kid. It's I assume it's an original pressing. Got the gatefold. But the thing is, it's only got one record, and I cut out the inner sleeve, as you can see. Because I was a kid, and it's pretty scratched and beat up. The second record, I think what happened was I got angry at one point and broke it, smashed it. I don't remember. But yeah, this is still the original one I got. But this one I found had both records. Pretty nice copy. Yeah. Kiss Alive 2. Was it as good as the first one? I don't know. This sounded more like a live album than the first one, apparently. But I liked that one a lot. And then we moved to California. I was out there for 4 years. Originally, we lived in New Hampshire. So we went to California. My stepdad, who my mom remarried, and he was going into the Navy before they actually started going out. So he got stationed out there. We went out there, and while I was out there, everybody listened to what was up and coming, like a rap and the pop music. Bangles were big back then. Rap was just coming into it. People were listening a lot to the Beastie Boys and the Fat Boys, and so I just kind of listened to what everybody else was listening to. But in 87, 86, one band came on the scene and exploded. And even out there, everybody was listening to them. It was all over the radio. And that band was Bon Jovi. It's Slippery When Wet. That song, You Give Love a Bad Name, it was everywhere. Couldn't get away from that song. And then they started releasing all these other songs, Living on a Prayer, Never Say Goodbye, Wanted Dead or Alive. This was a huge, huge album, but vinyl community, everybody knows this was a big album. First time I've ever had it on vinyl. I had this for a few years. Like I said, I didn't start collecting vinyl like I am now. I'd go in and I'd go to like thrift stores, I'd see records, and I'm like, oh look, they have this one. So I'd buy it. I found Motley Crue's Girls, Girls, Girls in a local thrift store. And pretty nice copy as well. It was like $1. I mean, I don't know what pressing it was. I don't really care what pressing it is, as long as it sounds good. I don't buy them to collect. I buy them to listen to. Even though some albums I do buy for collectible purposes. But, you know, I like music a lot. So, and then after Bon Jovi came out, other bands started coming out as well. I mean, even though these bands have been around longer than Bon Jovi, and they had other albums, but this was another one that caught my attention. It's kind of a glare on there, though. That's Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil. Excuse me. The back cover on that. Everybody knows this album, sure, as well. Hits, you know, like Looks to Kill and the Shout at the Devil. It's the gatefold with the cover in there like this. This one has a scratch on side 2, I believe. Doesn't skip, but it's got that audible click as it hits that scratch on it, which is fine. I mean, it's listenable. So I just right about right there is a scratch. There's like another one right there as well. But I really got into Motley Crue. I got the first 4 albums back here. I mean, varying conditions. Like the first one I have is Too Fast for Love, and the sleeves beat up. But the record's listenable, so I can listen to it, which is fine. Another band that I got into for a while was back then was Rat. It's Out of the Cellar. Big hit on here, of course, was Round and Round. I'm not sure if they had any other hits on here or not. It's, I guess Wanted Man is fairly big. Lack of Communication, I guess. I mean, pretty good album. It was a little sleazy sounding, but it was good. Good glam metal. Yeah. There's that. And before we moved to California, though, we had there's another band that we got into. Me and my sister, we liked a lot. And there goes my dog, barking like a crazy guy again. So he heard something. Anyway, sorry about that. This is Def Leppard, Pyromania. We remember seeing the videos on MTV for this. There's quite a few videos for this, Photograph and Foolin', Rock of Ages. It's a pretty good album as well. After this, it was like a 5-year gap between their next album because the drummer got in an accident and lost his arm. Didn't know if he's going to be able to play again. But in 87, or was it 88? One of those. They released this huge album, Hysteria, with the original drummer, playing with one arm, playing with his feet. He set up, I don't know what it is, the pedals to play all the other drums and stuff. Of course, everybody knows this album. This is like the big one that really shot them into the stratosphere of rock stars, Of course, the big song on here was Pour Some Sugar on Me. And, it's got Women and Rocket, Love Bites, Armageddon It, Gods of War, Hysteria, Excitable. Almost every song had a video in the single. Huge, huge album. This is actually a first UK press that I got from a gentleman over in the UK. It's not in the greatest condition. It's got some surface noise. It's been played a lot, which it's understandable because it was a huge hit. So, and then this album, I don't have it in a sleeve. I mean, I don't have it in a plastic sleeve or anything because for some reason it's got a little warped on one end and it skips. So I need to find another copy of this. Excuse me. This is pretty big at the same time Hysteria was out. That's White Lions, Pride. I love this band. I love this album. That song Wait was a big hit on here, but they also had the other hit, When the Children Cry. Maybe All You Need Is Rock and Roll was fairly big, but this was Wait was a huge song back when Pour Some Sugar on Me was huge. That must have been 88, 89, somewhere around there. But this album's got the original inner sleeve in it. But like I said, it's got the warp right here. So it skips on that, and that's where Wait is on side 2. So there's no point in playing it because I can't hear that song. So other bands that I got into when I was older, I meant to pull this and I totally forgot. So give me 1 second. Let me move the chair. That I also got into, that I found when I went into the local record store looking for something new. I bought a record, or a cassette tape actually. Every week I got paid just to find new music. And as I walked in the store, this was on the wall as the top 10 best sellers, 20 sellers. Loki, shush! Never heard of this band before. Didn't know what to think of them. Decided to buy it and check it out. And that was Metallica and Justice for All. This was, 87, 88. First time I listened to it, I didn't know what to think. I said, wow, this is so far outside what I listen to. So heavy and so fast, technical. It was just, it kind of blew my mind. I almost brought it back and said, I didn't like this. Listened to it a second time all the way through. It's a long album. After the second listen to, I was hooked. I just stuck this in my cassette player and that's all I listened to for weeks on end. Stuck it in, actually I wasn't driving just then, but at home, just all I was listening to was Injustice for All over and over again. And every song here is a killer. It's probably not their best album per se, but it is a very good album. Lack of Bass sucks. This obviously is, what did I do here? This is obviously not an original copy because those aren't easy to find. Apparently I didn't stick the record back in the sleeve when I was done listening to it last time. Here's the back cover. Like I said, everybody probably knows this album. Pretty good album. Songs. Big hit here obviously was One. Made the video for that. Blackened, Injustice for All, Shortest Straw, Harvester of Sorrow, Dyer's Eve. All great songs. Yeah, this is not the last one they put out, the remastered box set or anything like that. This was released in like 2010 or something, just a reissue. But I figured I should get it because I didn't have it on cassette. I got it on CD, but I said I'll get it on this. Okay, one last thing before I go because I don't want to make this too long. Nobody's gonna be watching this probably anyway. Another band that I found while I was looking for new stuff. I had this on cassette as well, if I can find it. 1 second, I'm very sorry. That's not the right spot there. This band I found at a record store that was in our hospital. Had a little tiny store. It was a record store, part of what's called the Dartmouth Bookstore. They sold they sold cassettes and CDs at the time. And I was just looking through the cassettes, and I saw this, and the cover just grabbed my attention. I was just, what the hell is this? Never heard of this band. You know, what is this band? So I'm gonna be honest here. I didn't buy it. I was 17, 16. I stole it. Yeah, I don't feel good about it now, but that was a long time ago. So the band is Entombed, clandestine, however you say it. Apparently, this is their second album. This is one of the best extreme metal bands, metal albums released from that era. Entombed was just amazing. There's nothing like I had heard before. The vocals were just insane. They weren't clean, clear vocals like Metallica or Anthrax or any of those bands. The guitars were sounded like a buzzsaw, and the drumming was just in your face. Did they have any hits? I don't know. Possibly, I guess, but this is it's the back cover. I fell in love with this album and the band, and none of my friends listen to this kind of stuff. They're all still listening to the glam metal and the popular stuff, you know, like Metallica, Anthrax, Slayer, Megadeth. But I was getting more extreme stuff. This is a reissue on this silver, smoky kind of vinyl. It's supposed to be full dynamic range, I think. Bought this straight from, I think Earache Records. Yeah, Earache Records. Late last year, middle of last year. I have the first one and the third one as well, but I'll show those some other time. But for now, I'm going to end it right there because 17 minutes already, and I think my dog needs to go to the bathroom. So until next time, I am the Thrashing Zombie. So long.